All right, welcome everybody.
Hello.
If you haven't guessed, this is the Jira Service Management Chocolate Tasting Event. So we're very excited that you chose to attend today, and we hope that you ended up getting your chocolate in the mail. I know I got mine, and I kept mine away from my desk because I didn't want to be tempted. And so I also didn't have much to eat for lunch today because I figured if I'm going to eat chocolate, that'll fill me up pretty quick. So we're going to just kind of hang out for a minute or two while everybody signs on. And while we're doing that, I can tell you a little bit about RightStar, and I can certainly introduce the panelists as well. So again, thanks for attending. We're going to move forward in just a minute or so. If you have questions, just a couple of announcements, you can go ahead and put the questions in. There should be a Q&A panel if you wanted to really ask about anything. We're also going to be recording this webinar, so if you have other people in your organization, maybe some compatriots that want to understand a little bit more about Jira Service Management, then you've come to the right place, and we'll send out a link to the session, and they can learn a little bit more. And if they just don't really want to care, don't want to know about Jira Service Management, but want to know about chocolate, well, we're going to record that part too, because that should be interesting. What we're going to do is go for about an hour or so, and we'll start out and we'll do a little bit of an introduction, and then we will go ahead and talk about Jira Service Management for about 10 minutes, and then the rest of the time it'll just be going through the chocolate. I think there'll be some sort of a tour as well of the chocolate factory, so that should be very exciting. So again, I think we're pretty much ready to go. I'm going to just go ahead and get started, and let's start out with an introduction. First off, my name is Dick Stark. I'm RightStar's president, and you're attending the Jira Service Management Chocolate webinar. Thanks again, everybody, for your attendance. With me, we have Derek Fields. Derek heads up our Jira practice, and that includes the entire Jira, or Atlassian, I should say, product line. RightStar, by the way, if you haven't gone to one of these webinars before, if you haven't worked with us before, we are an ITSM, and we are a DevOps/Lean Agile consultancy, and we happen to also be an Atlassian partner. And we've been working with Atlassian for more than 5 years now, so for fairly long length of time. And one of the things that we really wanted to do is tell you a little bit more about Jira Service Management, because it's not just a little bug tracking service desk. It's really a product that's enterprise grade. And we can tell you that because we have a couple of very large customers. I just wanted to briefly describe two of them. And the first one is a large Air Force customer. It's called the AOC. It's the Air Operations Center. It's a group that really is like the FAA. They keep the airplanes, at least the Air Force jets, so that they keep those guys running all day long, 24/7. And so, as you can imagine, there's a lot of people that work in this organization. They've moved. They had an old legacy service desk system, and they moved that to Jira Service Desk, which is now Jira Service Management. It's hosted on a government website. They currently have about 500 analysts that run this thing. They do incident. They have a brand new change management application that they just released. So it's a very heavy duty enterprise grade service management or ITSM system. And at the same time, and we've been working with a group called the Department of Justice U.S. Bureau of Prisons. They also moved from a legacy enterprise service desk system to now Jira Service Management. As I said, they're about ready to go live. They have 2,000 analyst systems, so they're an enterprise-wide system. That I think they have somewhere in the neighborhood of about 40,000 employees in the organization. The whole thing, what they do is they have a hub and spoke system, and what they do is they think global and act local. So again, this is going to be more than just an ITSM. They'll also roll this out to different departments like HR. So if you thought that Jira Service Management was just a bug tracker for little tiny service desk, you're wrong, and you've come to the right place to learn a little bit more about Jira Service Management. So with that, and I also, before we move forward with Derek, I just wanted to also introduce Tim Carter, and Tim is the guy that's sort of behind this webinar for us. So thanks, Tim, for your efforts to get this going. And then we also from the Theo, we have Andrew, I bet, and he's going to be our host and take us through that. But right now, I'm just going to turn things over to Derek. So, Derek, go ahead and bring it on with Jira Service Management.
Great. Thank you very much, Dick. So I looked through the participant list, and I see lots of friends here, people that we have worked with in the past, either on Jira Service Management or in some other capacity. And I'm really pleased that you have joined us this afternoon. I am not going to take up a lot of time because I know I am standing between you and chocolate, and there's nothing more important than getting to the chocolate. I wanted, though, to spend a few minutes talking about Jira Service Management and really how exciting it is that Atlassian has rolled this out. They announced it last November, and they have been hard at work really making this rollout work for all of their customers worldwide. And it really is very exciting. Those of you who have a lot of background in Jira may be thinking of Jira, as Dick said, as something that is relatively small and relatively contained. And I think that Atlassian recognized that over, about 18 months ago or so, 24 months ago, they made a strategic decision to make their service desk become truly enterprise grade. And that isn't simply the ability to support large installations, so that's certainly important, but it was also the fact that they had needed to fill out a lot of the capabilities that you expect when you're talking about IT service management or more broadly, enterprise service management. And I think that you will be impressed if you have not yet had a chance to dig into Jira Service Management. I think you're going to be impressed with some of the things that Atlassian has rolled out. And I should warn you that my dog has decided he wants to participate, so you may see a little cameo of him if he decides he needs to hop up on my lap. Okay, but with that, let's go on. I want to start by bringing you some statistics, and these are a little bit old, but this gets back to just the core service desk capabilities. The fact is that using Jira Service Desk, Atlassian was able to poll or survey their customers. This goes back, as I say, a couple of years, but they were seeing that by moving to Jira Service Desk, they were getting a 61% improvement in the ticket handling time. That means that they were cutting in less than half the time they're able to close tickets, or their customers are closing tickets because of the use of the capabilities of something like Jira Service Desk, and 20% reduction in actual ticket creation because of the self-service capabilities that they bring in with Confluence, and I'm going to touch on that in a moment. But the thing that I think is most impressive, and this continues to be true even now that they have expanded the capabilities of Jira Service Management, is that 2-month implementation. If you are familiar with some of the other enterprise-grade service desks that are out there, you know that they can take 6, 9, 12 months to implement because of the complexity and the rigidity and inflexibility of their environments. Well, Atlassian has brought in this amazingly flexible environment, and our experience, our real world experience working with our clients, is that a 2 to a 3 month project is really is very much within the wheelhouse. That will get you an operational service desk and service management environment with all the capabilities that I'm going to show you. So that 2-month implementation is the thing that I'd like to make sure you take away. The cost savings, the time you can get this implemented is really outstrips anything else that's out there in the market. So let's go ahead and take a look at what service management means in the Atlassian environment. you're all familiar, I expect, with Jira Service Desk itself, and the look and feel has changed a little bit, but really it's the same service desk that you know and love, with all the flexibility and capabilities that are built in to Jira Service Desk today. Things like all of the SLAs and the reporting, the queues that are the portal, and on top of that, Atlassian acquired Code Barrel, which has automation for Jira, the plug-in automation for Jira. And so that gets to their no-code automation. Automation for Jira does an enormous amount of the heavy lifting that you used to do through scripts or other kinds of add-ons. Now with automation for Jira, you get all of that. And if you're in the cloud, you're getting all of that as part of Jira Service Management. If you're on data center, that's still an add-on. It's still an app that you add on to Jira Service Management, but it has really been a game changer for the ability to rapidly implement lots of different capabilities. Second thing I want to talk about is Ops Genie, and this is a little picture of Ops Genie, but this has been a huge part of the migration from simply a service desk to full enterprise service management. We hear all the time from our clients, I need the ability to have on-call schedules so I know which members of which teams are working and when, who's taking vacation, who is available for escalation, and what is the escalation path that an incident or a problem should go through if it's not being resolved, if it's not being resolved within a certain amount of time, or if that incident is coming in from a particular system that may be mission critical to the organization. And conversely, let's not load up people with incidents that are things that they could look at next week because frankly, the system isn't that important to us. It happens to be there. Ops Genie does deduplication. So we can then say, look, I don't need to get 100 tickets for the same alert coming from the same system. Ops Genie will deduplicate those. And that, again, is a huge benefit to anybody running an enterprise service management solution. In addition, because it is so tightly and beautifully integrated with Jira Service Desk, from the Jira Service Desk, you can now create incidents that will trigger the rules in Ops Genie for escalations, for notifications, for acknowledgements, and all the things that you're getting from that real-time response module. And that's what Ops Genie gives you. It's a huge benefit. And I think it has really been a game changer for Atlassian. The next piece that I want to bring in is the insight piece. Now, again, Atlassian acquired Mindville, which is the creator of Insight. Insight is it's mission built to be a configuration management database. So this is the database where you're going to keep all of your hardware, all of your software with its licenses, the systems that things are deployed on, the network, your routers and your switches, and you're going to build up connectivity between all of these different things. So when you Ops Genie gets in an incident from a whole disparate set of different devices on your network, Insight is going to be the place that's going to pinpoint the root cause for you. It's going to help you track that down quickly and address it before it gets out of hand. But even more so than that, or in addition to that, Insight is this incredible object-oriented database. And we at RightStar have used this to model lots of different things. And one of the takeaways I want you to get from this is that this is not just ITSM. This is full enterprise service management. And that to me means if you're doing contracts, or you're doing facilities management, or you're doing HR, or you're doing any number of other kinds of business functions that are not IT related, all of this can still service you. For instance, we have built a contracts mechanism on top of Insight, where the contracts, their expiration date, their signatures, all those things are captured in Insight, and then their workflow is tracked through Jira. Same way, facilities. We've modeled facilities so that we can have proactive maintenance schedules for, say, the HVAC that's sitting in a particular building. And all of this is modeled in Insight. So this is a hugely powerful capability that we've got. And the last picture I've got here is the graphical view that Insight gives you. So as you create these relationships between these different objects you've got in Insight, you can see now that you can track down how are they all related to each other. And as I'm getting incidents, or if I'm scheduling a change management and I need to upgrade, say, a particular server, what are all the services that are going to have to be taken out of service, and who's going to be affected by those? That's what Insight can help you see. Last piece is the Confluence piece. Confluence, as most of you know, is that content management system. It, again, is tightly integrated with Jira to allow you to build up a knowledge base, and this drives that customer self-resolution. So instead of a customer having to open a ticket to say, I don't know how to reset my password, or my VPN is down, what should I do? You can go ahead and give them step-by-step instructions. Here are the things you should try before you open a ticket with us, because you may be able to resolve this problem all by yourself. This is also where you're going to store your documentation, so that as your agents are coming up with commonly asked questions, facts, and so on, your Confluence is going to give you that place to store them all, and they're going to look beautiful and really be able to curate them. So huge part of the overall enterprise service management solution is this content management capability. Okay, so that really wraps up. And again, I don't want to spend a lot of time right now, because I'm standing between you and chocolate. But I do want to give you, and I want you to know that we at RightStar are partnering with Carahsoft to do a hands-on Jira Service Management workshop. This is going to be a 3-hour workshop from 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern Time on March 30th. This will have hands-on. I will be going through the key areas of Jira Service Management, including Jira, Ops Genie, and Insight, and giving you a much more detailed, in-depth look at all of these components. You can go ahead and register now, and Tim, if maybe you'll jump in right now and let them know how to register. Do we do that on our webpage?
We'll send everyone a follow-up email with the registration links on that. And you will also have an opportunity. It says CPE eligible. I think you can earn up to almost 3.5 CPE credits. So really great opportunity. You know, if you're not too tired of hearing Derek's voice, I know I never get tired of hearing Derek's voice, but if you're not too tired of hearing Derek, you can come join us there. And Derek, I know too, we did have one question in the chat before moving forward from Jim Alexander. He said, at the very beginning, you talked about the 2-month implementation. Does that stand up to a net new environment? And does it include migration of data from competitor systems?
Okay, so that is a really great question, and I'm glad you asked it. The 2-month is roughly what it takes to stand up a net new system, and that includes typically gathering your requirements and doing implementation. And it does, of course, assume that the complexity is what I would consider to be a medium level complexity. Migrating the existing data is a conversation we should have, because we have, in many cases, recommended that we not migrate existing data, and there are ways we can help you to address that. If you need to migrate the existing data, it's probably another 3 to 4 weeks of work, and it really depends on what system we're coming from and how well structured it is, et cetera. It's really, but we can do it, and we have done it for a number of our customers in the past.
Yeah, Derek, let me just jump in, because that's a good point, because we're in the middle right now of starting a brand new project where the customer wanted exactly that. They wanted to migrate all the data, and it did take a little bit longer to do that. So it's certainly possible. What we can obviously try to talk you out of it to save some time and money, but in this particular case, that incident data was very important to them. So, but let me ask you, we'll turn it over in just a sec. Let me just ask one other question, and then we can move on. And that is, automation is such a buzzword right now, because everybody wants to reduce all these manual dependencies. And I want to make sure that everybody understands that that's a very key component in Jira Service Management as well. So I know that we've done lots of different sophisticated things using the automation utilities that come with Jira Service Management.
Yeah, was that a question? Because
Yeah.
the answer, of course, is absolutely. Automation is a huge part of what we're able to do with Jira Service Management. And I'll just give you a very quick example. We're implementing right now for one of our clients. They have a number of standard things that their service desk agents need to do. For instance, in this case, they do manual password resets or unlocks. That is really an automated task, and basically that ticket, when it's open, it goes immediately from open to closed, and we've automated the whole part of that, so they no longer have to deal with going through a workflow or whatnot. It is handled automatically for them.
Okay, thank you very much, Derek. Excellent job.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on. So